To a writer of superhero stories, it becomes an axiom that no hero should go without experiencing the challenge of being powerless. Getting that right, that's the writer's challenge. Welcome to my channel. KC, that's me, Carrie Tug, the Sledge Storyteller, here to talk about the wonderful world of storytelling and to open up discussion about how we can tell the best stories we can. But yes, taking this week off from movie reviews, once again I need a little extra time to gather my thoughts on the next one. But also I've had this and other storytelling tropes swimming in my mind, so I figure here and there we'll sprinkle them in. So there's an adage I read in Dennis O'Neill's The DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics, and that's put your hero out on a limb and start sawing. Then he didn't attribute that advice to himself, he didn't cite the originator of it, and Googling got me nowhere in pinpointing that originator. But it's something to take to heart. Now, I limit myself as to what techniques I'll use, such as the refusal to implement the hesitant villain. You can watch my storytelling pet peeves video for my rant against that. But enough tangents. It does feel like no hero should go without ever losing all their traditional resources. It could be powers, it could be their go-to weapons, it could be their go-to devices. But, here are the sub-tropes to that I wanted to ponder upon. Not the most important reason, but the most upfront reason. So, suddenly our hero is disadvantaged and has to find another way to put down the evil menace, whenever it may be. It could be Superman when the sun turns red, rendering him mortal. It could be the Silver Age Green Lantern, confronted by so many powerful beings who are of the yellow hue. It could be Batman having to face a lethal opponent, armed to the teeth without his utility belt. Now, while our love for superheroes hinges largely on the excitement that comes with using their powers, the occasional power loss gives us a new angle on their executing their roles as heroes. Why? We're not always thinking about it, but a big part of a hero's appeal is the hero's courage. And occasionally the thought may come into our heads that he or she wouldn't be tough if they didn't have that power. So, I have to believe that this reason is more foundational to the power loss trope than the first. We wouldn't be following these heroes over just their powers, but also because the writer gives them initiative. Whether it's the hero's contingency plan when this kind of thing happens, that could be backup equipment, or sheer drive to find any solution, prove adaptability, and have that will to add a whole other dimension to the hero's character buildup. At times, the hero will creatively be put into the hands of a creator who will choose to have them lose their powers long term to put their own unique spin on their characters. It goes without saying that a high risk proposition comes into play there. An example where it proves disastrous was when Dennis O'Neill teamed with Mike Sekowsky with Wonder Woman. They thought that they could make a social statement on having Wonder Woman give up her powers to show what a woman could accomplish without them as a kung fu master, as if leaving her disadvantaged in comparison to male superheroes who kept their powers was supposed to take her somewhere, the Wonder Woman mod era, if you will. And it doesn't leave anybody who would support this shakeup in a good position, seeing how Denny O'Neil himself had been very outspoken in his regret on how he handled things. To quote him, "Not one of my more glorious chapters in my comic career." I'll leave a link in the description to the episode of Nerdsync that gives you the whole story on how it accomplished nothing, or the real details that went into that make you cringe. But this trope of losing powers has proven effective at times. The movie Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut especially, Supes had accomplished a lot helping the people of the Earth in the first Superman movie, but the prospect of having Lois Lane in his life as his one true love had become his ultimate goal. Even so, he would give up his powers. It was well played how he would struggle in adjusting to a normal life as a normal human, and the sudden danger of the whole Earth under the mercy of General Zod forced him to sacrifice the life he had chosen for the greater good. And, this sequence of events added dimension to the Man of Steel and showed that there would be more to him than just his flight and super strength. But that's a segue to this final sub-trope. If I ever do a review on Superman 2, there's going to be a major emphasis on the frustrating fact that it didn't really reach its potential between the theatrical cut and what director Richard Donner had put together before his feud with the producers finally led to his departure from the project. The sequence where he regains his powers with the help from his Kryptonian ghost father, it's just so beautiful and so well executed and so powerful of itself. And it's a beautiful example of how that power regaining process can carry so much depth. Who knows, this may have been a subconscious factor in deciding to discuss this trope, but the recent episode of Superman and Lois is a good example here. I mean, more of a fun example than a deep example. I mean, Superman, he was powerless at this time, and we're going to believe that this would be permanent, and his decision to have himself actually thrown inside the sun, the source of creating his powers, wouldn't kill him. We knew it wasn't going to kill him. That would end this series. I mean, it's called Superman and Lois. You think it's going to keep going with just the TV title Lois? But, how you do it, you just got to think hard. You got to feel the flow of a good idea. Go with it. Make it work. Just make sure your heart's into it and not some obligatory push to do that. And I guess, if you have an editor pushing for this type of thing, that might be its challenge. A good writer will always find a way to make this work. But that's my take on the trope of losing powers. Thank you for watching. Agree, disagree, something I left out, please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please click like. If you like this channel, please click subscribe or follow me on Instagram. As always, the link to order Sledge number 1 and number 2 is below the description there. To be found through indieplanet.com, available in both digital and paper format, or you can order Sledge number 1 on Kindle in either format. But I'm always going to say it, let's look for civility amid all the bad news out there, social, political. Then I can't forget about the pandemic yet. It's not gone. I wish it was. But let's follow the precautions that have been given to us. I'll always still recommend everybody take the vaccine. I mean, anybody who would say that it's dangerous and everything like that, I have to believe there's confirmation bias. But you may say that my reasoning carries confirmation bias, but I guess you got to do what is right. But I'm going to ask you to do what is right in getting the vaccine. But thanks for watching. Everyone be safe and God bless.